Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash Raised by Narcissists. In today's episode, my mother's friends all shut her down when she told a story about my badness. My dad can't even let me eat ice cream in peace without reminding me that I owe something to him. I expose my dead father for who he is. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. My mother's friends all shut her down when she told a story about my badness. For context, when I was 3 years old, I was in the washroom and decided to try on my mom's necklace. In all fairness, it was a beautiful thing that she had worn to her wedding. But I dropped in the toilet. Then, 3-year-old, impulsive, later to be diagnosed ADHD me, flushed it. And obviously, it flushed, never to be seen again. I have always felt terrible about this. I have apologized for many years. Age 6, age 9, age 13. I'm sorry mom for flushing your necklace down the toilet. I'm sure we're all familiar with those petty, insulted responses. So recently, at a dinner party with all of her neighborhood friends, mom decides to pipe up and tell the story of how awful little you/Spontaneous destroyed her property. One-upping everyone's light-hearted tales, of course. Mom starts the story, when you/Spontaneous was 3-. Here she gets cut off by Tom, a teacher, great guy. She was 3? Shouldn't she have been supervised? Mom didn't even get to tell her story. The entire party agreed with Tom instantly, no way, it's the 3-year-old's fault. My mother was stunned and didn't say anything as the conversation moved on. I have never felt that amazed and God, so F***king relieved. My dad can't even let me eat ice cream in peace without reminding me that I owe something to him. I have my exams coming up and I was feeling stressed, so I brought some ice cream from the store and was sitting at home and eating it. All while my dad had gone out, because he always makes a big deal about everything. Then he came back earlier than I expected and saw me eating it and of course has to make a big deal about it, and goes, you study so little, and then eat so much ice cream. Like what? I got provoked and said, why can't I just eat ice cream without these comments like a normal child does, to which he said, because you're 16, and not a normal child anymore, and then laughed that demeaning narcissistic laugh. It just feels like he is driving home the fact that he pays for everything I do, and wants to use that to control the way I study and everything else. He even went so far the last week as to tell me he will have to marry me off if I don't study properly. He said that it's not indicated by grades, but by some messed up standards he has, and he has said that on other occasions as well. I just feel so angry that he expects me to laugh everything off, and I am so done with this family of enablers. This is not a one-off incident, it's a pattern of belittling, gaslighting, and guilt-tripping me into submission. I expose my dead father for who he is. My father died of brain cancer when I was 19, I'm now 21. My family was obsessed with him. They would literally talk about him and treat him as if he were a god. He was much more educated and socially successful than all of them. He was their idol. They literally saw no wrong with him, and every time he did wrong they made excuses. Now here's what he was actually like. One time he was told by someone that a guy he knew hit his girlfriend, not my father's girlfriend, the girlfriend of this random person. He then proceeds to go to his house, beat him within an inch of his life. How noble. Except it was the wrong guy. He impulsively just beat up a random guy who did nothing wrong. Antics happened often enough. He cut off his own parents for years because they suggested he was too hard on me. He mocked a teenager whose father had recently passed away because he was physically inactive. He told me that he would disown me if I came out as gay. For the record, I'm completely straight, and he did this because I purchased some aftershave which he perceived as feminine, and when I rolled my eyes at the stupidity of this, he picked up a remote control and threw it at my face. In short, regular beatings, public humiliation, emotional abuse like saying you're a waste of space and your mother has kid you up were not uncommon. As well as denying me the medical treatment I needed for autism and ADHD, because he didn't believe that I had them even though many specialists thought I did. If anyone ever suggested he was doing something wrong, he would raise his voice at them and immediately resort to aggression. I actually made a list 3 pages long of stuff that's just as bad as all of this. He also prevented me from seeing my mother for his own selfish reasons and problems with the relationship, while convincing me it was for my best interest and whispering false poison in my ear about her as a child. My lack of relationship with my mother caused me great distress, and he would regularly use it as a stick to hit me with "you're just like your F***ing mother" whenever he didn't like something I did. I wanted to see a therapist and talk all this through with someone. Every time he forced me to tell him my problems, and if I ever mentioned that he was one of my problems, he would go crazy and scream at me. Most days of the week for the 6 years I lived with him involved him standing me up and screaming at me for over an hour, often repeating the same things several times. If I ever showed any sign of feigning attention, he would get up and hit me and often kick me out the house onto the streets. Often these hour-long monologues would start because I wasn't enough like him. One time he called me an embarrassment as a child because he was a pilot and I didn't know enough about planes. An 11-year-old to be specific. This is 90% of my memories with him. How does all this affect me today? My first ever relationship with a girl ended after 9 days of dating. Why? We got along, found each other attractive, vibed together. Because after 4 days my anxiety and self-esteem issues went through the roof. I have literally never had validation or told I was worthwhile in my recent memory. I pushed through my ADHD and got good grades despite him denying me medical treatment. I went to sports and kept up my fitness. I pushed through my mental health issues, went to school and tried to make friends every day even though I felt inadequate about myself and depressed. And what did I get to show for it? All the above. How did he think he was a good father? Because he paid for private tuition for me, tried to help me with fitness, invaded every aspect of my personal life, and sent me abroad during the summer to live with a foreign family. All that is great, it gave me experience, but it's not what I needed. I hated myself every day, never thought I could do anything. These days I have issues with compulsive lying and I get insecure when anyone compliments me about anything because it feels wrong. I'm currently in therapy for all of this when I should be living my life. So why am I bringing this up? Imagine going through all of this, and every time your family's together you get to hear, "Oh, your dad would have loved that." What would your dad want? Don't we miss your dad so much? On holiday I said something negative about him, and my cousin looked at me angrily saying, "Don't you dare say anything bad about him, you're a prick if you do." Whenever I bring up any of this to my family it goes one of 3 ways. 1. Saying I'm exaggerating. 2. Saying it's okay because he loved me and meant well and I'm ungrateful. 3. Saying I'm only choosing to remember the bad stuff when there was equal good things to remember. Do you know what? I got fed up. YTF does my scumbag father, who just wanted to be the big man and bully and hate people, who thought that he was perfect in every single F***ing way, and got treated as such by the family. Why should he get remembered as this great amazing person when he wasn't? Why should I have to suffer through hours on hours of feeling angry about him and all the time and energy I lost because of him? He literally thought all that would spur me on and make me like him. As if I would want to be anything like him. So what did I do? I sent that list, all 3 pages of my father's abuse, to my cousin, 33M, who called me a prick. He's now depressed and confused because he viewed my dad as a mentor and his idol, and I've essentially ruined him for my cousin. He's genuinely shocked and doesn't know how to feel and wishes I didn't show it to him. He's upset that my father isn't here to defend himself. But even if he was, he'd just get angry that I insinuated that he did something wrong and cut contact, saying, "I'm trying to help you, you ungrateful little shit," as always. I also explained some of the stuff, but not all of it, to my grandmother, and she resorted immediately to blaming me or saying that I did things equally wrong. I didn't. I made normal teenager and child ADHD mistakes like forgetting stuff. They literally view him as this perfect guy, and it makes me sick. Moreover, I feel like nobody understands me, nobody understands why I act weirdly sometimes, or I'm so anxious for no reason. I wanted to show what I've been through to be better understood. I think I may be the asshole because they were happy thinking he was a great guy, and that memory of him made them more at peace with him, and I have ruined it. For my own emotional security, I destroyed my cousin's image of my father. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.